Wifey sauce? Follow me, please. This video is sponsored by Team Group's Thanksmas sale event featuring their best deals yet on RAM and SSDs, like their T-Force Delta Max. Best in class SATA 3 speeds, up to 1 terabyte of storage, and a massive 5-volt addressable RGB display make this a great home for your OS, games, and more. To see what the Thanksmas sale event has to offer, click on the link below. Alright, so what brings you and,
Manta.
Manta, because NZXT Manta, that's the case. Very clever. So what brings you and Manta in today?
Well, it's been about 3 years since Manta was built, and I just figured it was time for a checkup.
Okay, 3 years, wow. Okay, it's great that you're bringing Manta in now. So any issues with him?
It's a she, not him.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I did not mean to assume your PC's gender. Have there been any issues with her lately?
Well, she's had a bit of a listening problem lately.
Listening.
Every time I tell her to print something, she just refuses to do it, and I've tried a couple of things and nothing seems to be working.
Okay, so printing used to work and then she just kind of dropped off. Could be a driver issue. We'll look into that. Any leaks or anything like that?
No, she's fully potty trained now.
That is great to hear. Has she been feverish at all? How have temperatures been?
She's pretty healthy. No fevers.
Have you been monitoring her temperatures closely, or?
I haven't really been monitoring it, but she seems pretty,
No
pretty
signs that
healthy.
would
No
indicate that
signs,
temperatures
yeah.
are high. Great. And has she been getting plenty of fluids?
I've been telling her father to give her more fluids, and he kind of just ignores me and doesn't do it.
Really? Is he the one that built her by chance?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, well, he did a fantastic job. She's a work of art.
Thank
He
you.
clearly knows what he's doing there. And maybe
does.
he's just, busy with other things. I'm sure he's bound to get around to it at some point, but...
I've talked to him about it many times, and, he just likes to sit on the couch and do nothing.
Really? Wow, must be a very patient man.
It's debatable.
Very patient. Well, this is a great starting off point. Thank you for all that information. I think right now I'm going to check her vitals. You're free to stay in the room if you like, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're hooked up to a monitor. We are getting a video signal, so that's a great first sign. And right off the bat here, we have CPU-Z loaded up as well as hardware info 64. And one thing that caught my eye initially is that we are running your DRAM at a lower frequency than it should be, which leads me to believe that either XMP wasn't enabled when the system was first built, or at some point along the way, it was turned off. So we can just go into the UEFI at some point later and enable that for you, and we'll be running at the rated frequency. It's a really quick fix. So over here we have our 4 cores on the 6700K, core 0 through 3, and you can see our temperature values just to the right of that. The column to the right is your maximum temp value. Those are the ones you want to look at more closely. And right now we're just idling, and temperatures are looking great, actually. You're hovering in the low 30s on all cores, no red flags here, so that's a really good sign. Of course, you're using an adaptive overclock right now, so the cores are actually operating roughly around 900 megahertz, as you can see right here, occasionally spiking up higher than that, but we'll actually see this go up hopefully to 4.6 gigahertz when we start putting a heavy load on the system, and then you'll also see the temperatures increase, hopefully to reasonable levels, but we'll find out right now. So I've got Adobe Media Encoder Creative Cloud pulled up here, and we're gonna use this to put a load on your system. It's essentially gonna tax all your cores and threads on the CPU to ensure that they're all at 100% utilization, and then we'll just sort of monitor the behavior of the system to make sure temperatures are in check.
Okay.
All right, here we go. And right off the bat, it's warm. It's looking really warm.
Oh, wow.
Yikes. It looks like we're almost hitting 100 degrees Celsius on all the cores, and that's just within the first few seconds.
Do you think that it's possible she has a clog in her loop?
Typically with dyed fluid, which is what you're using in your loop, you don't generally see buildup to the same degree or happen as quickly as you do with certain other opaque fluids or coolants that have a lot of different chemicals and other sort of additives in them. But anything's possible. They are still prone to getting unwanted growths, especially if you're not using a silver coil, also known as a kill coil, or other biocides. So that could be something to look into. The other thing that could be leading to this overheating issue is the overclock itself. Depending on how the overclock's been configured in the BIOS, we can take a closer look at that to make sure that you're using the absolute lowest possible voltage that you need to achieve that 4.6 gigahertz frequency. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this right now before it explodes. And let's go ahead and jump into the UEFI and see what your overclock looks like right now. All right, so we're in the BIOS here, and we can see that you definitely have your overclock set to 4.6 gigahertz on all cores. Fantastic. And you're using a voltage of 1.375, which is a little high, in my opinion. Anything sub 1.4 is generally safe, but as to whether this is necessary to achieve the overclock that you have dialed in, that's another matter. I'm not sure exactly how this overclock was set, if it was done in a rush. Oftentimes people will set in a voltage that they know will run the overclock they're trying to hit, even though it might not be the most optimal or the lowest voltage that's actually required. So I am going to try my hand at optimizing this overclock to see if we can potentially lower this voltage in such a way that it still achieves a 4.6 gigahertz frequency, so we wouldn't be losing any performance there, but by lowering our target voltage, we could potentially lower our temperatures under load. Trying to find a voltage that's just right for an overclock like this can take some time, so you'll have to bear with me a moment.
Okay.
All right, so after some trial and error, we have actually managed to lower our voltage by quite a bit here. 1.330 down from 1.375. That's no small amount. And I have ensured that we are still getting a stable 4.6 gigahertz overclock on all cores, so this could potentially lower our temperatures quite a bit. We'll have to go into Windows right now, rerun the test, and see what it looks like.
Sounds good.
All right, are you ready for test number 2?
Yep.
Let's do it. So, pretty immediate spike up to 90 degrees C, which is still a little warm. Now earlier we were actually looking at the individual core temperatures, which you can see right here. You can see one of our 4 cores has already hit 92 degrees C. Whereas the other cores are still in the high 80s. They haven't quite breached 90 C yet, which is already a better result than the first run. But it looks like your CPU package temp is still very high. So I think at this point it's safe to say that your overclock isn't what's causing this overheating. We've already optimized the voltage, and given your specs and the actual loop that's inside your system, it should be able to run these OC settings no problem without incurring this type of heat. So that leads me to believe there are 2 reasons why your system's overheating. The first being that there's some kind of growth or blockage inside of your loop that needs to be cleaned out, and that's going to require us disassembling the entire loop, potentially taking blocks apart, finding any sort of growth, removing it before reassembling and refilling the loop. The second potential culprit is dust. If there happens to be a large amount of dust buildup on your radiators or your fans or a combination of both, it could impede your airflow heavily, which is why you're seeing such high temperatures. And since removing dust is a lot easier and quicker than disassembling your entire loop, we're going to go ahead and try cleaning out your system first to see if that makes a difference. All right, well, we just did our cleaning and there was quite a bit of dust buildup in there, so maybe that'll fix things. Let's go ahead and run our third test here and see if it made a difference. You can see our CPU package is, immediately spikes up to 91C, 92C, 95. Okay, that's not the best sign right out of the gate. What this leads me to believe is that there's a bigger issue at play, most likely having to do with your loop. I think it's safe to say that we're going to have to schedule an emergency operation. We're actually going to need to disassemble the entire loop, clean it all out, maybe take apart some water blocks, and find if there's any growth in there and remove it as soon as possible. Now, we wouldn't have time to do that today, unfortunately. I do have a lot of other patients waiting, but we can schedule something very soon, hopefully in the next week, for you to come by again with Manta, and we can get that taken care of for you ASAP, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and stop our test here. I think this PC's been through enough for one day. But before I let you go, I wanted to circle back to that printer issue you mentioned you were having, where your system is not sending printing instructions to the printer at home. And I think there could be a number of reasons there. The first thought that I had was it could be a driver issue. Maybe your drivers are out of date, but I did take the liberty of checking, and it looks like your drivers are up to date. So the next thing that comes to mind is Windows 10 updates. Now I know those pesky pop-ups that Microsoft feeds you on a regular basis are quite a nuisance, but Windows 10 updates can keep your system in compliance with all the other devices that it's connected to ensure full compatibility. So we'll check on that. Conversely, however, sometimes updating your system through Windows 10 can actually have the reverse effect, where it knocks certain things out of compatibility. And that brings up another potential issue, being your BIOS. So if your BIOS version isn't up to date, then it could potentially keep Windows 10 updates from operating as they should. So I'm gonna look at your BIOS version to make sure it's current, and if it's not, we're gonna go ahead and update that as well, just to ensure that it's addressing any changes that Windows 10 is trying to make to your system, okay? All right, our patient's admin has stepped out of the room momentarily, but I'm still here. And basically what we did was we went through our troubleshooting steps. We updated Windows. There was a small pending update, nothing major. We decided to update it anyway. That didn't seem to have any effect. And then we updated the BIOS, which was also out of date by a couple of years actually. Still, no dice there. So the next logical step was to uninstall or remove pretty much every trace of the printer on this particular system before trying to reinstall it and re-add everything. So I started by removing the device from Windows software, along with all of the other faxing, scanning, and printing machines that weren't currently being used by the admin, just to ensure they weren't causing any sort of incompatibility. And of course, by removing the printer in question, that uninstalled all of the associated drivers as well. And finally, I uninstalled all software that was from the same maker as the printer, which is HP. So we uninstalled all the HP software, and that essentially gave us a clean slate to work with, at which point I re-added the printer to Windows 10, and that brings us to right now. So I haven't actually done the test yet to see if our test page will actually print, but here goes nothing. Let's actually take this along. We're going mobile. The doctor's going mobile. And it looks like our printer is now working again. The admin's gonna be very happy about this. All right, I've just been informed by the front desk that Manta's admin has actually stepped out of the office to tend to some other matters, but she'll be back shortly to pick up Manta. So I'm gonna give her a call and give her the good news about the printer, and we'll see what she thinks.
Hello?
Hello, is this Mrs. Sauce?
Okay, very funny, babe.
Oh no, I think you have me mistaken, ma'am. This is Mr. Dr. PC person. I'm calling to give you an update on Manta.
Okay, how's it doing?
Well, as we discussed, even after the dust cleaning, she is still overheating significantly. So we are gonna have to bring her back in so that we can actually disassemble the loop, clean it out, and hopefully that'll solve the overheating issue.
Okay, sounds good.
But on the bright side, we were able to get that printer issue resolved.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
If your husband was half the man I am, he can't be half bad, right? Well, thank you very much, ma'am, for all of your time today, and I will see you in a week.
Okay, honey.
Oh, ma'am, that's slightly unprofessional. You could just call me Dr. PC. I'm sorry, something funny, ma'am?
Okay, baby, you can stop now.
Have a good day, Mrs. Sauce. Goodbye. Some of the patients we get coming through these halls. But that is, I wasn't talking about your mom. But that's gonna conclude our checkup for today, Manta. Pretty easy, right? All right, great. Well, we'll see you back in a week or so, where we strip you naked and rip out all of your inner organs. How's that sound? Great, okay. Toss a like on this video if you enjoyed it, and get subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on this little guy's operation, okay? All right, till next time, I'm Dr. PC, the PC Doctor. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.